What's your dirty little secret? I once pissed on a tree at a party and then a minute later I saw my buddy sitting at the tree with a girl and when they got up their pants were wet. I farted once when I was driving the car with my wife in the passenger seat. She smelled it and thought I burped and said it smelled like beef jerky that she assumed I had recently eaten. Then she said she was now hungry for some beef jerky. I just played along like I burped. I don't know what's worse. The fact that my bowels smell like beef jerky or the fact that my wife got hungry after smelling my fart. I sharted at my best friend's wedding. Spent 40 minutes in the toilet cleaning up and threw away my underwear in the middle of a field. So when I was 4 or so, me, my brother, and my mom were having a quick lunch at one of those gas stations that has a deli in it. While we're eating, I take a little $3 dinosaur toy off the shelf and start playing with it. My brother, eager to be the family dick, tries to tell on me about it. I of course deny it and stuff the toy in my pocket to hide it, with the intention of putting it back when I got a second. Well, that opportunity never came and before you know it we're leaving the store and driving home. I swear that toy felt like a hot molten coal in my pocket. I was panicking and just wanted it gone. We get home and go inside and still this guilty toy burns at my side. We have a big yard so I wait what I thought was an appropriate amount of time and go outside to play. I go to some thick bushes and with all the power a toddler can muster throw the evidence in. Nobody has ever known. But the guilt over that $3 toy haunts me to this day. There is an old bathroom in the warehouse where nobody but me and my boss, who doesn't go there, has access to. It is hidden behind a wall of boxes. 4 other doors and with no electricity. But the plumbing works. I have my personal toilet in there. And I regularly steal toilet paper from our shared bathroom and take it in there. Semicolon. Our bathroom we share upstairs is TTYF. That one down there is a paradise. But there is no way in hell I am ever telling anyone. I once woke up in the middle of the night because my dog was humping my face. Semicolon. Edit. OMG my first gold. Thank you stranger. I puked in my friend's staircase after too many shots. Luckily she didn't notice when we left her place the next morning and only saw it when we got back. Her and her flatmate discussed who could have done it and whether it could have been the neighbor's dog. But in the end thought it was too much puke for a dog. Despite me saying it could totally have been the dog. In the end they figured it must have been one of the downstairs neighbors who apparently are known for coming home super drunk. I pooped in my ex's cat litter. I don't have a cat. Then whose litter box did I shit in? I am masturbated with the sauna ladle handle around the age when everything was a DLDO. Nobody knows. They have all touched it. I knew I was going to see this cute guy at dinner. So I picked out a very SIV neck bodysuit. Of course. There was absolutely no way to wear a bra with it. I took my chances. But during dessert, I had a major nip slip. It just popped out. I had no clue what had happened until he finally awkwardly pointed it out. I'd been sitting there. Double the dessert for him I guess. 3 out of 7 days a week I have a huge butt plug up my ass while shopping. Wife and I are currently separating. And I've been wary because she spent a lot of time with a guy she knows. Including staying over a lot. She has been claiming that nothing is or will happen. That it's the last thing on her mind right now. Etc. She came home last Thursday morning with a shopping bag. Where she'd picked up some juice for our children on the way home and put some of her own stuff in it too. I thought I'd help out when she went to work by emptying said bag. Only to pull out a suspender belt with stockings attached. So my secret is that I didn't tell her that I found that last week. Something is definitely happening. Either with that dude or another. I went through that in 2010. Found vibrating condoms in my now ex's purse. Divorced. Married an awesome woman in 2014. Unload the cheater and start a better life. 2020 you will thank 2019 you. Edit. Holy FCK people. Vibrating condoms are like regular condoms with an extra device for buzzing at the base to bring the bean to bodacious benefits. Seriously though. Any drugstore has these in their aisles. Picked up a box of the street, the size of a matchbox, had some heft to it. Pocketed it and walked home. I've cracked one off in every bathroom of every office I've ever worked. The ice cream stain on the driver's seat of my mother's Toyota Camry wasn't from me spilling a milkshake. When I was in kindergarten I changed the PC name to Poop and changed it back before my father came home. Guys, they said dirty little secret, not what unprosecuted sex crimes are you running out the statute of limitations clock on. I have fallen out of love with my so of 3+ years and I am way too afraid to break it off. My secret, I guess. So did my ex of 5+ years. Apparently she was struggling with these emotions for a year and eventually cheated on me. When she told me about that, she told me about her doubts. I was very sad that she had these doubts. But her cheating on me really destroyed me. I feel like if she had told me about her doubts we would have broken up too. But it would have been clean and fair. Please consider talking to your so about these feelings. I sucked a guy's dick so he'd buy me boba. Edit. Boba tea aka bubble tea. I've lost my laundry. Then tell it to stop fking the loof. Okay, so one time I was walking around on TGE beach a few years ago and I wanted some snacks but I left my wallet in my house, so me hungry young and dumb thought acting homeless was the best idea to get some cash. Well, 20 minutes into me sitting on a curb some weird guy walks up to me and says, hey, you're kinda cute for a homeless guy, I'll give you some money if you do something for me. At that point I wanted to leave but my dumbass stayed and followed him to a dark alleyway. Then he turns to me and says, how much to watch Ushti, and I stood there for a few minutes just taken back. I said $500 joking and he pulled out a stack of cash. So I hate to say this but I got paid for shitting in a alley, but the food was worth it. 10/10 would be homeless again. Edit. I once ate spaghetti factory food right before a motorcycle trip with a friend. Had to make an emergency stop at a Wendy's to shitty, and once I ran into that bathroom the only toilet stall was being used so I had to use the urinal. Or shitty my pants. My friend walked into me sitting in the urinal and we both left a sap. Still feel bad about that and it's something me and my friend never talked about since, as if it never happened. Sorry Wendy's bathroom person. When I was probably around 8 or 9 I was uphead by my babysitter and assaulted on multiple occasions. My mom thought I did it willingly and had her sex talk with me. I've never told anyone about this. His older brother also held a knife to my throat as a joke, but it was terrifying. Edit, this blew up a bit. I'd like to preface by saying my mom thought I was just starting to experiment with sexuality, which isn't okay at that age anyways, but A, it is what it is, and secondly this is a throwaway account. I've been in and out of therapy all my life and I feel like I've dealt with it sorta okay. Around 8 or 9, my mom thought I did it willingly and had her sex talk with me. Semicolon. No offense but your parents are fking dolts and I apologize on behalf of their ineptitude that you had to go through any of this. My wife and I are into S&M. She's the S, I'm the M. When we had our house built I had a fourth wall built behind our closet where we keep all our toys. My best friend drunk masturbated in my bed right next to me while she thought I was asleep. I was 50/50, just lay here and hope she doesn't realize you're awake, offer my help. You can guess which option my dumber self chose. She admitted to it about 6 months later and was super embarrassed. Mostly because she thought I was asleep. Someone at work was into me. But I didn't want to peruse a relationship. She tried to convince me by showing how she had no gag reflex. She had me put my index, middle, and ring fingers together. Then she deep throated them. Even did the tongue licking the base of my hand thing. I started feeling clit stimulation when I was very young. I'd hop on a table with my leg crossed underneath me and then rock back and forth. My mom is super conservative and did not feel comfortable discussing the birds and the bees with me. Or why it tickles down there. So she would just tell me to stop without explaining why. Because of this, I never understood that it was a sort thing or it wasn't appropriate to do in public. I just thought it tickled and felt really good. Starting at around 7 years old, my friends and I would fully hump each other when we got home from school. Like, go down to the basement and hop on each other's legs and just go at it. We would just go in turns getting each other off without ever understanding what we were actually doing. I haven't spoken to the girls who I used to do it with, but I'm assuming none of us have told anyone else. I just switched jobs, but for the last 2 months at my old job, which was a remote position, I would just get high and play video games. Nobody ever knew. My mom assumes I lost my virginity to my first serious boyfriend in high school. In reality, it was one of the guys working construction on the new house behind us. Definitely glad I faked sick from school that day. Edit. I was over the age of consent. Most of the time. Save for a few select people in my circle. I don't really care about what goes in with their lives. I just ask things to be polite. When I was in the late years of elementary school, puberty hit me f-king hard. I was also held back a grade, so I should have been in high school when I was in grade 7. In any case, I once got so f-king horny during the late hour of a school day that I stopped in a kinda shitty creek bed park nearby and stepped off the beaten path behind some branches and brush and jacked off beside the creek. I'd read about public sex on the internet and thought it'd be hot, but it was mostly grimy, dirty, and I got dirt in my ass crack that scratched like a bitch. I'm actually Doom 88er. I once got in a dumpster to look for the keys to my house, which were in my house, because I thought I had lost them and didn't want to tell my mom or she'd get mad. I took out the garbage and thought I had thrown my keys in the dumpster along with the bag. Semicolon. It was almost empty, but I stepped on a bottle of oil and it was nasty AF. Took 2 showers to get rid of the smell. Despite the fact that I tell dad jokes constantly at work, I have no kids. Major faux pas. My ex told me to drug her and do with her what I wanted. So I drugged her and played video games all night with friends. She still thinks I f-ked her multiple times that night. Not my thing. But she wouldn't stop pestering me about it. Holy FCK the comments. We were playing EverQuest. E2. Silver. Comma. Thanks. What do I do with it? E3. Well. Seems I've struck gold. Thank you kindly. Stranger. I used to make up whole people and tell my friends that I was friends with these other people and how cool they were and how much they liked me. I probably made up somewhere around 10 friends of mine and no one was any the wiser. I'd tell everyone that I was staying at my fake friends' houses and eating with their family and stuff. On the internet I'd make up my fake persona and fake family. I did this from the ages of 8 to 12 before I realized it was dumb and stopped. I had a broken home. My half-sisters didn't care about me. And I had no friends because I was constantly bullied and was constantly bullied because I had no friends. I've never told anyone this or come clean about it to the people I lied to. I just wanted to pretend to enjoy life. Man. I once attended a wedding as a event photographer with my crew. When I finally had a break and one of the members offered to take shots while I take a quick pee break, I used the bathroom at the far back of the event. While there I heard weird noises and upon opening one of the stalls found that the bride's dad was having sex with one of the bridesmaid. After the event when the bride's dad was paying all our crew and handed me my pay, I whispered to him maybe a little extra and I won't tell the bride. He got angry but he ended up paying me twice my pay. I'm into pegging and only my wife and Reddit knows. Oh god. So one night on the way back from work I was really feeling it. And I thought, why don't I just jerk off in my car on the side of the road? Now it was pouring down rain that night and I live in the middle of nowhere. So I pulled over and did my thing and whatever. I went to pull off the grass I was in. And OFCK. I'm stuck in mud in my 0 2 feet Honda Accord. So I'm pushing with all my f-king will. BTW, I'm on someone's property and they can definitely see a car with headlights on from their house. So I think I'm gonna get caught stuck. Thankfully with the will of God I got out. But man, I feared for my life. You could just have said that you got an important phone call and didn't want to talk on the phone while driving. I dated a friend's girlfriend while they were dating. She was cheating on him and I had not met him yet. 2 years later. He and I are good friends and at a bar chatting about exes and she came up and he laughed his ass off. He said, knew she was cheating, but couldn't ever prove it. We're still good friends and we laugh about how we're cheating bitch cousins. He and I did not know each other yet when it happened. We met later through mutual friends. I regularly go to an adult video store with glory holes in the booths and suck as much cock as I in one day. If a guy has a nice, big enough, at least 8 inches, cock, I'll invite him to my booth to FCK me in the ass. Been doing this 3 to 4 times a year for about 15 years. No one in my everyday life has any clue about this activity. A few do know that I am bi, but not this. Isn't that straight up asking for an STD of some variety? I go to church every Sunday and lust over another man's wife all while the pastor preaches about Jesus. I'm a swinger. In an open relationship. From the outside, we look like a typical wholesome family. But me and my so go to orgies or have threesomes foursomes at least 2-3 times a month. A few months ago I accidentally learned that my parents also used to be swingers. Wonder if this is genetic? I waxed and douched before I went and discussed my grades with my professor just in case. I'm a pretty handsome guy and everyone thinks I have an easy time talking to girls. However, I'm awkward as shit and I also wear women's clothing. To elaborate further, I do it in private and don't often tell women about it. On one occasion one girl went shoe shopping with me and that's how I got my first pair of high heels. I love pantyhose. I love it on women. And I love it more so on myself. Escalated quickly at the end. Sometimes I purposefully forget. I have terrible memory and it really hampers me. But there are times where I'm able to purposely forget something. Forgot a large chunk of my first relationship this way. I almost died when I was 7 and my parents don't know. I was with my brother's wife, then GF, out on the town doing some errands. I run ahead cause I'm a kid and she yells for me to stop. When I hear her I realize I'm on the tram rail crossing and a tram was coming. I ran back to her scared shitless. I'm more of a hoe than I care to admit. I lost my virginity last Friday. And my parents don't even know that I started dating someone. Or that I had an LDR and did a lot on camera with that person as well. I am a product of strict upbringing, so I guess it's my time to go wild. Just for your information. Possession of child pornography is a thing even if it's your own photos and video taken willingly. Just assuming you might be underage. Semicolon. There have been minors who went to jail over having naked pictures of themselves on their own phone. Went to Japan with my family and was at the age of finally being able to venture off by myself, and me being the horny 18-year-old I was, went to the red light district of sorts. I kinda didn't think I would actually be able to find anything there. But very soon after I got there I was offered a happy ending massage by a very attractive Japanese for 5,000 yen and it was one of the sketchiest things I've ever done. It wasn't even good. Just a sloppy hand job. Definitely wouldn't do it again. Then to top off the night I walked 5 miles back to my hotel at 2 in the morning because the subway stopped running and I didn't have enough for a cab. Lots of regrets that night. When I was a really sheltered 8-year-old, my mother told me that chicken eggs were fertilized by the males peeing on them. Me and my only friend at the time, who wasn't sheltered but just dumb, ended up peeing on some eggs. They didn't hatch and I asked my mom why. She regretted ever having me at that moment, I bet. My boyfriend of nearly 2 years still doesn't know about this. And he never will know about it. Nice try, B. I worked a boring ass night shift in a large windowless room for 2 years with one other guy. At some point we started sucking each other off and did it for about a year. Eventually we both got girlfriends and moved on to different jobs. I don't have any intentions to do it again. I don't find men attractive, but the blowjobs feel so much better than jacking off in the shower. It's kind of was like masturbation but using a mouth rather than my hand, since neither of us had any attraction other than the mutual like of getting off. Why oh. What's up, man? It's your old pal from the windowless room job. You still like sucking men off? I've masturbated to nearly every decent looking female I've ever met. And still look them straight in the face like I'm innocent. My wife has a chronic, currently undiagnosed illness. My father-in-law has been just diagnosed with prostate cancer and I am a mess. I hold it together because someone has to be the rock, but I'm at a complete and total loss of how to navigate this. I tuck my girlfriend in each night and nuzzle her a lot. It helps her fall asleep and she appreciates it immensely. I also do it so she'll fall asleep. And I can go crank it to so much PRN. Asterisk. Edit. Tuck. Not tug. I should be working. But here I am. Know a guy who put a fake name and age on Tinder. No big deal until he fell for a girl. She now knows he lied about his age but still calls him by his fake name. I've always called him by his nickname and he has begged me to just not bring it up. All his family and close friends are in on it. And they are getting married next year. He now just full on goes by his fake name and everyone in his life has gone along with it. My brother's alarm was going off in his room when he wasn't home, so I went in to shut it off. And then I snooped through his phone. I found messages to random guys where he called them daddy and talked about being a cute girl someday and wanting to take hormones. I've tried to bring up the subject of being transgendered but he always brushes it off. So my secret is that I'm a nosy privacy invader, but also that I saw those messages and he doesn't know. I do not hate the current president of the United States. I did not hate the previous president of the United States. I regularly FCK myself with a massive DLDO wearing girls underwear and a miniskirt on Chatterbot. I'm a guy. Just gets me off being watched and told I'm a good girl. I took a shitty off a 20 stories building to a busy street. This needs a NSFW tag and a comma. I couldn't give a damn what it needs. I once pissed into a liter of sweet vermouth after hours at the country club I worked at. Then fed the whole bottle. Straight-faced. To a jackass customer the next day. He said I made the best Manhattans. I watched the man drink my piss for most of the day. I want to eat out my friend's ass and I will if the opportunity arises. I'm friends with someone on Facebook simply because his mental decline and ranting is f***ing hilarious. Not in a funny haha way. But in a you're a terrible person and deserve this kind of way. Fell in love with my best friend's GF. I didn't want it to happen. And I try to find a way to not think that way. But I literally cannot help it. I've heard a lot of people saying that you should just stop talking to her. But I can't because we're really close. It'll be sus if I just walk away out of the blue. I've been single for a long time. And she is probably the first person I've this way for in years. We started talking and the more I learned about her the more I began to like her. But unfortunately I can't douche tea. And I obviously can't tell them either. So I'm basically just stuck. Suffering. Hopefully I get over it.